Hello all, and welcome to my next kind of unboxing video. Today we're going to be taking a look at three different WWE Elite Mattels. A couple of recent ones, one that's a little bit older. So yeah, let's just kind of look here. We're going to go with, we're probably going to start with Greg Valentine, go into Paul Orndorff, and then go into the Rick Rude. These two are from the Legend series, the Target exclusive Legend series that they brought back. And then Rick Rude is the Elite 77 SummerSlam wave from, I believe, about a year and a half ago at this point. No, it was last summer, wasn't it? Okay. Anyways, an interesting thing about this Rick Rude is it's actually the fixed one that came with the jacket packed separately instead of on him. And I'll get into more of that as I review this one. But yeah, we're going to start with Greg Valentine over here on this end and then kind of work our way to Rick Rude over here. So we got Greg Valentine, this one, and I believe the Orndorff, and another one I'm going to do a separate video on. I have the Eddie Guerrero from the new Legend series as well, which I think is part of the Orndorff line, not the Valentine line. But I could be wrong. Yeah, there you go. So there's the back. If you want to read his bio, you can. This one had the Razor Ramon in the blue, Bobby Heenan in the Weasel suit, which is a pretty cool figure. I've never got it, but didn't really want it, but cool nonetheless. And then Greg Valentine. And I believe Greg Valentine was the Chase variant in this set. I believe this is just the normal Greg Valentine. I don't remember what the Chase is. I think the Chase is reversed, right? It's yellow trunks and black boots. I could be wrong. Probably wrong. I usually am on those weird little variant things. But yeah, Series 7, this Legends line had kind of stopped for a while, and they brought it back as a Target exclusive line, which kind of sucks, you know, but it is what it is. At least we're getting them somehow. And I like it because we're getting wrestlers, you know, we don't normally get, like a Greg Valentine or a Paul Orndorff or whatever. But there he is on the side of the box. You got the figure, other side, bio in the back. Like I said, if you want to read it, cool. Greg the Hammer Valentine. This is, I'm going to go ahead and start cracking them open, but this is Greg during that kind of time where, you know, in WWE he was having that feud with Ronnie Garvin over, like, the figure four thing, and I'll kind of go into it in case anybody's not really familiar with that. So one of the accessories that comes with this that wrestling fans might find, non-wrestling fans might find odd, is basically a shin guard. With little hearts on it because, you know, he's Greg the Hammer Valentine. And I'm actually recording this on Valentine's Day, so it works. Yeah, during the feud, Greg Valentine's finisher was the figure four leg lock, and he would put this on because he felt, you know, to cheat, because if it wants to focus, there we go, that the shin guard would add extra pressure, and that was like his cheating method for using it, right? But it was a piece of equipment, so they couldn't always take it away. And he kind of went into a feud with Ronnie Garvin about that, and they have this match where Ronnie Garvin has a shin guard too, and they just are locked in an internal figure four, and it's kind of a wacky match, but it's one of those WWE of the 80s, early 90s kind of things. And we got his robe. I like the robe. I like the cloth good robes we get. Glad it's just not one of those hard plastic ones. Cool detail. It's got all the little hearts, the hammer, and yeah, I mean, pretty simple, but cool. Interchangeable hands. In box, he comes with the fisted hands, as you can see. And then he's got mic holding hands, open hands. So there we go. Let's get into Greg's. Now, Greg Valentine's like a real burly dude. Like, he's kind of a big, barrel-chested guy. So I think they kind of nailed that aspect of him. He's got the mullet. We got the mullet. He's kind of got that kind of barrel chest kind of thing going, especially if you pose him straight up. Again, he stands pretty well. Pretty standard articulation for Elite. He's got his arms. We got his legs. He's got the thigh swivel. A little bit of an ankle pivot, which I'm glad they're bringing back in some of these. So yeah, pretty simple. I mean, you know, once you see one Elite, you kind of see them all. I'm not sure if we've seen this body sculpt for anybody. I'm sure we have. I don't know if this is entirely new. The head sculpt on him looks good, though. I like it. I think it fits pretty well. Mine's got a little bit of a black smudge here, which kind of stinks, but oh well. We got the name on there, Greg. We got the hammer on the back. His boots got the little hammer logo. So yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. Let me see if I can get the, I honestly don't remember what foot he wore the shin guard on, so I'm kind of, hesitant here. There we go. But it goes on pretty easily. It just pops it right on. And then, let's see if I can get this up. There you go, pop right off, so it works for what it is. But that's it for Greg Valentine. I mean, not a whole lot going on with this figure, like I said, but, still cool to have. I didn't have a Greg Valentine before, and he's one of those guys I feel like you can, that you kind of do want if you're wanting that you know, to complete your collection of all, like, the 80s guys, so it's a cool one to have for sure. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. We're going to go into one of my favorite wrestlers of, like, the early to mid 80s, and even later in the 90s in WCW, just highly underrated in my opinion. That is Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. I like Paul Orndorff. I love his feud with Hogan when he turned on Hogan. I love when he got the weird song in WCW, the Mr. Wonderful song. It's so cheesy but good. And all around, like, by most accounts, like a legitimate badass outside of wrestling. Like, just a tough dude who could kick your ass. So, Paul Orndorff, always been a big fan. Highly underrated, in my opinion. So, yeah, so happy that they finally released another Paul Orndorff. I didn't have any of the Jax ones, and I think they've released an Elite or two of him before, but I never got any of those, so was really excited that this got released a new one. So there he is on the side. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. If you want to read his little bio there, you can pause it, zoom in, read it. This line had Ultimate Warrior, Eddie Guerrero, Jake Roberts, and Paul Orndorff. I still want this Jake. My friend Cranky actually sent me these two, the Valentine and the Orndorff, because there's a Target in Orlando, but we don't have a Target here in New Mexico. Well, we have Targets in New Mexico, but not where I live. So I'm still looking for this Jake. I'm going to do a separate video on this Eddie Guerrero for a good reason, because I think it's one of the best figures of the year, so I'm going to do a completely separate video for it. But I do want this Jake. I've been looking for one. Either one. I don't care if it's the regular or the variant. I've been wanting one. And this Warrior, I know that's a figure a lot of people wanted. Personally, I wasn't going to go out of my way to try to get that one. But I do want the Jake. But yeah, let's go ahead and crack open this Paul Orndorff. Let's see here. There we go. Not a whole lot with him. Greg, you know, a lot of these probably aren't, these older figures probably don't need a whole lot of accessories, to be honest. Greg Valentine comes with the shin guard, but I can't imagine much for Paul Orndorff here. He comes with it packed in with the the open hand microphone holding hands, and he comes with closed fists, so cool. We got his robe, another soft good, great, love it. Cool little deco on it too, looks good. Mr. Wonderful on the back, classic. Awesome, like it. And now we can get into Mr. Wonderful himself. Oh, he's got a stiff ab crunch. Oh, there we go. Okay. Kind of got to work that. Yeah, he's got a stiff ab crunch. I like this figure. I think just right off the bat, just first impressions, he is just jacked. which is not a surprise. I mean, Paul Orndorff was a massive guy, built just, you know, kind of had like that statue body type of thing going. So yeah, let's see if we can get him stand. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I like this figure a lot. The only thing I have an interesting little kind of quirk about this one is there's a weirdness kind of going on with some of like his hair color. I think that could be a little bit more blonde or brownish, but it kind of has a weird yellowy hue to it. It's not a big deal, but like this is kind of weird. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, not a whole lot going on with him. He does have the silver on the boots. On the back, we have Mr. Wonderful, which is funny because it's the number wonderful. Always like that. So yeah, not a whole lot going on, but he looks great. I've been wanting, like I said, I mean, easy pickup for me. I've been wanting a Paul Orndorff. I like Paul Orndorff. Highly underrated in my opinion. I didn't do this with the Greg Valentine. I'll go back. I kind of like doing it. So here's Greg Valentine with his, like, so a comparison of the head sculpts. I think that one's like really good. And then we can take a look here at Paul Orndorff with his picture and head sculpt. It's not bad, but I can't say it's great either. I mean, it works. I can tell it's Paul Orndorff, but it's not as good as the Greg Valentine one, for sure. The Greg Valentine one's definitely better. But, I mean, still like it. It still works. So that would be my thing. I apologize, I'm stumbling over my words. My complaints all kind of come around the head. The head sculpt, I think, could be a little bit better. And then just kind of the hair color could probably be a little bit better here. But beyond that, I'm glad to have it. Like I said, didn't have a Paul Orndorff before. He looks great. I think they did, like, the body type, the real jacked up body type, real perfect for his kind of prime run in the early to mid 80s going out. So yeah, really happy about that. And let's go ahead and get into the last guy that we're going to open today. Rick Rude. Another one of those kind of unsung heroes of wrestling. Funny enough, all three guys probably more known for their heel runs. Valentine, Orndorff, and then Rick Rude. So yeah, I like Rick Rude. This is from his SummerSlam match with Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, and I think it's his first one, the Intercontinental title match, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think when they wrestle for the WWE Championship, he's got the short hair by that point, not the long hair. But yeah, I'm another one of those underrated wrestlers in my opinion, a lot like Orndorff. Ravishing Rick Rude, just a guy who was a good worker, knew how to play his role, charismatic, great talker, could do anything, kind of, and outside of wrestling was known for being a legitimate, just badass dude, and legit tough guy and everything. So really excited to get this one open. There he is on the side with his glorious 80s mustache. There's his bio if you want to kind of pause, read that going. I actually have the Fiend from this line. I opened it a long time ago before I was doing the unboxing video, so I think him and Rude are the only two I actually got out of this line. I already have a lot of AJ Styles figures. I have a basic Ronda. I don't really feel the need to upgrade. I have one of the older Miss Elizabeths. I thought about getting the Viscera that comes with the Hardcore title. I just never pulled the trigger on it. Because I think I have the King. Yeah, I have one of the King Mabels, so I just didn't pick it up. But out of this specific line, yes, I picked up the Fiend when it came out, obviously, and then Rick Rude. So there he is on that side, kind of doing his pose. So yeah, let's get this guy open. I always open my Mattels from the side like that. I throw the boxes away anyways, but just in case I find a flaw in it and I have to like send it back or take it back, I'm not tearing it open completely. And here we go. So, little kind of trivia thing here. This Rick Rude comes with this black robe. Looks great for what it is. It's got the dots. Simply ravishing. See if that, yep, simply ravishing on the back. When he first came out, he was packed wearing the robe. That was a problem because, much like the Jax robes back in the day, for whatever reason, when these were packed in with the figures wearing them, sometimes you would open the box and the paint from the dye from the robe would bleed onto the figure, and you just couldn't get it off. It bled into the plastic. That happened with this guy. It's happened with very rarely with Mattel, but it happened with this Rick Rude. This black robe was bleeding mostly all into his arms, I believe, and so I waited to get a Rick Rude until I eventually saw this one at a Walmart in a town near me, and it was packed in separately. So it was the fixed one, the not a re-release per se, but the running change. There you go, a running change to pack it in separately. So they put it in a little bag, stuck it behind the box, taped it there. Simple. They didn't have to redo any of the other packaging. So yeah, got him. See if I can get the robe open. There we go. And there it is. Again, pretty simple, much like the other two, the Valentine and the Paul Orndorff ones. All three guys had robes. That was pretty cool. Simply ravishing, black and gold. It works. Like it. He's got 2 different sets of interchangeable hands, so that's 3 sets of hands total. He comes packed with the open palm hands, and then he's got mic holding hands, and then of course, probably wouldn't be a wrestling figure without closed-fisted hands these days. And now we can get into Rude himself. You know, unlike a lot of the other wrestling figures of recent memory, this guy has a lot of like plastic on him. There we go. Plastic ties. Like these. Get those off. And then on his legs too. Okay, and there we go. Got a Rick Rude. Oh, okay, cool. I hadn't really seen any videos of anybody unboxing this Rick Rude. I know they're out there. I just hadn't seen them. I don't really watch a lot of the wrestling toys unboxings. I watch unboxings of a lot of other stuff. But anyways, he's got his sailor tattoo. So awesome. Glad that's there. Again, yeah, a great looking figure. I'm glad they went with like the kind of ripped and shredded torso. You could make the argument that he should have had a similar torso to he fell over, to the Paul Orndorff. Just a big jacked guy. But Rude was a little bit like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there was a lot going on with Rick Rude in his training, per se. But he was kind of smaller. He definitely kind of had like that upside down triangle shape where he was like, had big shoulders and a chest and then kind of like a small waist that was real tight and like a 6-pack, So he wasn't, I guess it kind of works with this, so I'm not going to complain too much. The main thing I like about this is the tights, because it's from that match with Warrior, and Rick Rude had this great gimmick where he would get these painted tights, and they were painted in a way to mess with his opponent. So, like, if you notice, his tights are painted to look like Ultimate Warrior's face paint. And then, you have Feel the Heat on the back from their match. Like, it's really cool. I think one of the other Rick Rudes that came out was, I want to say was it based off his Jake Roberts? There's a Rick Rude a while back. I think that was based off of the Jake Roberts match he had in that feud. And I could be wrong on that. But yeah, he had painted tights to mess with his opponent. So, in this one, he's got the Ultimate Warrior painted on his tights. And it's pretty cool. I always thought that was like just a cool like kind of being a psychological asshole to do to your opponent. Great figure though. I like the tattoo. He's got the tattoo. Really good deco. You got ravishing on the boots, the back here. He's got the crazy poofy mullet going. It's great. The only issue I can kind of tell with my figure maybe is the head is a little. It's not loose per se, but yeah, it's kind of wonky there. No big issue though. Once you pose him and you get him set up, it won't be that bad. But yeah, I like this figure a lot. Glad to have it. Another guy I didn't have really much of a figure of yet. I had a Rick Rude Jax figure a long time ago. No clue what happened to it. It just kind of disappeared. There was a few of my Legends Jax toys that just disappeared. No idea what happened to them. I don't know if a friend of mine stole them. I don't know if my brother took them whenever he left or what. But like, yeah, I lost a lot of my Jax Legends collection just randomly one day. Or I think I stored them, went looking for them and never found them. I don't know if the box got sold at a garage sale of ours. Just like, because, you know, maybe my grandparents at the time thought it was it's stuff to get rid of or what. But like, yeah, disappointed. So with Mattel, I've been trying to kind of build back up my older Legends collection, I guess you could say, because some of those Jax toys are just so hard to find. But yeah, it's fun to kind of collect and go back. I know I'm kind of rambling with this figure here, but no, it's a good figure. I like it. A lot of cool detail on the pants and everything, so really happy with that one. And that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, from the Paul Orndorff line, my next video will be just a single take on the Eddie Guerrero. So really excited about that. But yeah, so we have our Rick Rude, we have our Paul Orndorff, if he wants to actually stand. All of a sudden, he doesn't want to stand. And then we have our Greg Valentine. I like all three of them. I think Valentine probably actually has the best head sculpt of these three. Rude's is good too. Orndorff's is probably the one that's a little bit off. But however, that even with that being said, with this one having the best head sculpt, I think overall just the deco and everything, I'd say the Rick Rude one is probably the best one. Just the color on the tights, the paint, it looks accurate for what it's supposed to be. The robe, yes, the robe has a bleed through issue, but hopefully that doesn't happen if I decide to pose him with it and everything. And he's got 3 sets of hands, because he's got the hands he can kind of put behind the back of his head when he does his pose, which doesn't really work, to be honest. Is what it is. But yeah, that's those 3. And I will catch you guys in the next video.